someone famous once said, don't let anyone who's not doing better than you in that area to tell you how to do things.
That sounds like something I said.
Somebody a little bit more famous than you, but not saying that like you should look down on anyone, but if you look at someone who doesn't have a house and is living with check to check and didn't have a house, don't tell them, have them telling you how to buy a house, unless that's their job and they're just purposely doing that or just bad, whatever. That's just a random analogy, but mentorship to me is more like guidance.
I was even going in a different angle. What I was saying was, because you talk about knowledge that you're sharing, but do you know that failure is also knowledge? Because you can go back to these kids and say, look, I did this, and look where I am. Now where I want to be. You don't want to be.
But looking back, how much of that has worked, right?
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Grind.
BTG.
Hey, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our future content. Our podcast is about business and lifestyle. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure to please like, share, and subscribe. My name is Kay.
Hey. I'm Alan.
I thought you were about to say Fat Albert.
Okay. I'm Tosin. All right. And today,
What are we talking about?
I am going to be talking about how easy it is to become a mentor. A lot of people, or before I go into a lot of people, I'm going to say I'm a big proponent of sharing knowledge. All right. So in that vein, a lot of people make it like, hey, I've got to know everything in the world before I can be a quote unquote mentor. I've got to achieve a certain amount of success or money or whatever, accolades, whatever it is, before I can become a mentor. And what I'm here to do, share today to everybody, is that no, you don't have to.
One thing, when I think about mentorship, right? The one thing I would say is that most people go their entire life trying to acquire knowledge.
Yeah.
But very few people actually have the mindset that, what can I do to give?
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, everybody can't be a mentor, but
You can't all be like you.
but here's the thing. Everybody is good at something.
Yes.
So if you want to become a mentor, you got to be able to identify what you're good at and then use that as a way to mentor somebody. You can't say that, I want to mentor somebody in, accounting, but you don't know a thing about accounting.
Well, let's define mentorship first, right? Because I feel like maybe the first step towards mentorship is to share knowledge freely.
100%.
All right. So, but I want to ask Alan, what do you
define
like?
mentorship?
What does mentorship mean to you?
I think mentorship, let me preface this by saying, someone famous once said, don't let anyone who's not doing better than you in that area to tell you how to do things.
That sounds like something I said.
Somebody a little bit more famous than you, but not saying that like you should look down on anyone, but if you look at someone who doesn't have a house and is living with check to check and didn't have a house, don't tell them, have them telling you how to buy a house, unless that's their job and they're just purposely doing that or just bad, whatever. That's just a random analogy, but mentorship to me is more like guidance, right? So it doesn't have to be, this person's a millionaire or whatever. It's more so like, like I'm a dentist, right? I might look for someone who does this one procedure that I don't do. So they can mentor me in how to do the procedures or what courses or what they did to be able to do that. So I think sometimes people think mentorship has to look like he's better than me in everything. And people also think that they have to be great at everything to mentor someone. Could be as little as, hey, you're my colleague. We're in the same level. We're both dentists, but hey, I'm good at this one thing, so I can mentor you in that aspect of your life. I might be good at, let's say I'm married and have a relationship. You need relationship advice, and I'm like, I've been there. So typically, when I think of mentorship, I think of someone who's been there in whatever issue or whatever thing you need at the moment. I'm just trying to make it smaller and more concise so that people don't have to necessarily look for one mentor to wrap all of their needs. And you as people out there can realize that you can begin mentoring other people just as you are right now. You just have to find things that you have to offer that somebody else doesn't have, and you see, hey, I went through that. I wish, pretty much in summary, mentorship is, man, what do you wish someone had told you when you were at this stage? If you see someone doing something, you're like, man, I wish that someone told me this and they could they would benefit from this. Obviously, don't give unsolicited advice, but that sounds like a future episode. Exactly. That is to me what you should look for when you're looking to be a mentor, or what you look for in the mentor.
So let's look at Google's definition of mentorship, right? It says that mentorship is a relationship where a more experienced or knowledgeable person helps guide, support, and develop someone who is less experienced in a specific area of life, career, or personal growth.
Exactly what we just said.
So, and I think for me, the key thing is the relationship aspect, right? Because obviously people know me to be the startup advisor, but outside of that, one of my superpower is the ability to develop and nurture relationships, to create social capital. Right? It's people. Sometimes people talk to me and they'll say, "Man, how'd you do that? Like, what did you do?" And
who are these people?
And and for me, it comes natural to me because I'm just being myself. There's a lady that I build a relationship with, and just on her birthday, I would just text her happy birthday, or like there was a time that she was in the hospital and
that's what's in your heart,
That's why it was in my heart, right? I didn't even I found out she was in a hospital by accident because one of her employee had told me, and I basically sent a voice note just praying for her and just making sure she was okay, and I was like, hey, if you need anything, just let me know, and me just being myself. It went miles. I wasn't trying to be transactional, but what that turned, she became my ally because this lady doesn't give out her personal number. Right. All of a sudden, I got her personal number, and I'm feeling like, wow, thank you, because now I have direct access. Because usually, before I get access to her, I got to go through like three, four people. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I think at the end of the day, like, it's the relationship piece that really matters.
I think you hit a key point. I think people. I was actually talking about this weekend. I think people fail to realize how doing so little means so much to people, because you don't know. To you, it's just little, right? So to me, anytime my friends are going through something, if I don't hear from them for a while, I'm texting them. People are like, oh, I sent them a text, they didn't respond. I'm like, call them, leave a voicemail. They didn't respond. Call them again. I was like, they might not be responding, but they're seeing it. Guarantee you, when they're gone through whatever, they're going to remember
this dude,
this person, you didn't do nothing, but it's like, man, they came through. Cause that's how I would. I'm like, you might be like, I didn't do nothing but call you 5 times. You didn't even respond. I didn't think you liked me. I'm like, bro, you don't understand how that meant to me that you care. Cause you don't know, you might be the only person who's reaching out to everybody else. When they stopped the one text message, you know, but you were like, hey, yo, are you okay? I'm just checking up if you're okay. Whatever. People take that, that goes a long way. There's people you've been with for like 20 years might not have done that. Exactly. But a stranger you just met did that. You're like, oh, that's a good person. Exactly. And it changes everything.
What about you? What does mentorship mean to you?
No.
And how do you approach it?
No, I definitely agree with the definitions that you guys have given. I've got I started talking about, the first step, right? First step is just start by giving advice to people, Right, because a mentor. Hopefully,
Get out of here. We don't want to hear you.
Wait,
Nobody asked
can you decide that you want to mentor somebody if they have not come to you? Because
no, you can't really just.
Not in that way. I get what you mean.
I feel like it's a trust thing. That's why I said relationship.
Yeah, that's why I'm going all the way back before you even decide that. Hey, can I even mentor somebody?
Exactly.
Do you even have something like worthwhile to share? Do you have like knowledge and experience?
So I'm gonna be your mentor from now on.
Right.
It's not everybody you want to be a mentor.
You? I don't want you to be my mentor.
So, like inside my definition to being a mentor, you've got to first cross these first steps, right? First, start just giving by, just offering a little knowledge here and there.
Okay.
Then next,
building trust, right?
Yeah. Next, you kind of mentioned it, but you move quickly, is to be an advisor.
Right.
An advisor compared to a mentor is that relationship piece.
Yeah.
Right. Both of them are still giving you advice and helping, supporting you towards some kind of goal. But a mentor is going to build that relationship with you.
I was just about to say
that. It's all about building that long-term relationship and
checking in on you, checking up on you.
Relationship, but also being invested.
Right.
Yes.
You want to see the progress of the person.
Right.
Checking in on them.
So it's not like as an advisor, most times you're just providing a service.
Yes. A little bit more transactional. Less relational.
Yes. Yeah. Very transactional, less relational. Then on the mentor side, it's the flip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you may not even be benefiting.
Yeah. Right. Most of the time, there's no benefit.
No benefit.
Yeah.
You're just giving back.
joy of seeing someone doing better.
Yes.
So it's going to be a whole lot of relationship and not a lot of transaction.
And stroking your
ego. It does
happen,
at some point, maybe you're mentoring somebody else and they pull you in for a deal or whatever.
Right.
That wasn't your
intent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just icing on the cake.
And that's why I said a lot of people go out seeking knowledge, but very few people actually go out trying to give knowledge.
And that when I put it into those three different categories, I wanted to make it easy to say that everyone's got some kind of value to share.
100%.
If you don't really have anybody you can mentor, just go to there are many different high school programs.
Exactly.
We've spoken at, and like just poured into different people, just share some knowledge. All right. You don't have to mentor them, but those three levels.
There's always someone, I don't know many industries where there isn't someone behind you or someone you're going to run into who's trying. I'm talking about like, even if you work at one person's hot dog stand, there's somebody who you're going to meet who reminds you in some way of you before you became you.
I was even going in a different angle. What I was saying was, because you talk about knowledge that you're sharing, but do you know that failure is also knowledge? Because you can go back to these kids and say, look, I did this, and look where I am. Now where I want to be. You don't want to be. You don't want to be.
But looking back, how much of that has worked, right?
It might have, like, I don't want to be you.
Because now I know what I don't want to be.
You got the bum life. No, I don't want to be like, no. I get what you're saying though. You can do that but you also have to have, along with the don't do this because it amounts to this, there has to be lessons like, if I had gone here, I could have been here.
Of course.
So it has to
be. Because then there's some sort of growth.
Exactly. So I think it does work. I mean, there's people who go back, ex incarcerated people who get out, they go, or even while they're still incarcerated, they go talk to people. And, there are a lot of people who are incarcerated get out and they're like millionaires because they were learning the whole time they were incarcerated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think anyone should count themselves out. Your negative experiences can also be mentorship.
That's correct.
And to help someone learn. There's no point in you bumping your head and then me going to bump my head on the same place. You didn't tell me this corner was here? Yeah, man. I was just watching you bump your head. It doesn't make any sense.
And when I think about, mentorship, right? There are definitely many, many different areas where you can mentor somebody, right? You got business strategy. If that comes easy to you and you have a lot of experience, there's a lot of people looking for business strategy, right? You got faith, your mindset, people that might be struggling in their faith, and this might be something that you're really good at and you can, kind of help people with it. You got relationship. there's a lot of people that
It's money to be made out there.
We're not talking about money here.
No, I know. I'm saying like all of you even have social media. There's a relationship.
There's a relationship
mentor and
aspect
guru there.
where you can mentor folks especially in their marriages and their relationships on what to do and how to be better.
And that's actually overlooked a lot.
Yeah, those are very important. And then the last one I was going to mention is the a career or creative skills. You can mentor people in that area because people do need mentorship in that area as well.
I think where the mentorship shines the most is that if you can find a mentor who is good at helping you frame your decision-making tree, because that's and being able to not only make decisions, but to prioritize the order in which you make said moves.
Well, we're speaking from a mentor perspective.
No, I know.
Though.
But like, if I have a lot of decisions to make and I need some kind of guidance, but I don't, if you're mentoring me to start making decisions on my own, it's not just advising, right? Because you're still checking up on me,
right,
how my life is going, how I'm feeling about the decision, But it's something to be said to learning how to make decisions and also to have management skills to manage life. Because concurrently with whatever decision, it may be personal, you're making personal decisions, there's business going on. And concurrently with, if you're making business decisions, there's personal going on. So having a mentor who can give you some kind of, oh yeah, I've been there. You're not the only one there. This is how I made my decision. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you how to make your decision so you can have peace about it. So that's something to be said. Like, I feel like that's a really important skill set that I don't think a lot of people understand that they have in certain areas, especially if you've experienced things. And I think when you have the dialogue, then you find out, oh, I'm not the only one who's going through it. No, we all fail. We all suck at this. What? Oh, I feel better. Okay, so it's going to be better? Yeah, it's going to be all right.
So I want to ask you guys, why do you think that people don't consider being a mentor? Because very few are doing it.
It's a burden, right? They think of it as a burden, right? It's like now you're taking responsibility. I think.
Could it be considered selfish? That you only want to take in, but you don't want to give?
I don't think it could, but I don't think necessarily it's selfish in their frame, in the way that they're framing it in their mind. I think they're not seeing it as selfish. They're seeing it as like, I'm not the person to mentor because that requires time and investment that I don't know if I tried, if I can provide.
I actually disagree with that. I think
because
that
you have to make a conscious effort.
Yes.
And they might say, I have a lot in my life.
Yes.
I don't want to commit to something that I can't follow through on.
Or someone. Well, that's a good angle. But I think that there are also folks, or should I say the everyday average folks, who looks at mentorship as a big deal, that they feel like they're not qualified to mentor.
Right.
And for me, I am a firm believer that
any experience,
what is ordinary to you, is extraordinary to him.
Who you telling?
Right.
Say it again.
What is ordinary to you,
he's writing a book, by the way, with all these quotables
to somebody else. And you always have to have that mindset, because God has blessed everyone with different skill sets.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So just because you have something that you look down on,
or
doesn't
don't acknowledge the value.
Or don't acknowledge the value, doesn't mean other people look at it the same way. That's why when I said earlier, I was like, I think that building relationship is one of the easiest thing to do. I think that everybody got social capital, because it's like, there's no way you're going to be on this earth for almost 40 years and not have some sort of social capital, right? But then it goes back to the relationship. How do you treat people? Because that would be determined by people wanting to go all out for you.
So some people are naturally gifted, even if they're a terrible person or not, or a good person. Besides their moral character, right? They're just gifted at being comfortable with relating to almost anybody, right? So what do you say to the people who are the opposite end of that, no matter their moral or whatever care. Because people assume, oh, if you're really doing this because you can't. Not always. They might just be really good at connecting with a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
The people who they may be good natured. I guess I'm answering my question.
No, I understand where you're coming from because I'm an extrovert.
Me too.
He's an introvert.
Right.
So he should be answering that question because I know he mentors people.
Again, it starts with a small step.
Right.
Right. Everybody is always trying to get to this, hey, I want to be a mentor where people are sitting at my feet and they're listening to the wisdom that's breathing from
While you're teaching, right?
You know, like,
I don't even think like that.
no, but you see, that's the difference.
Yeah.
An introvert might think,
That's how they think.
you know, it's like, that is what a mentor is like,
But-
sitting at your feet and just absorbing.
That's-
the
you know, that's so
knowledge
funny he said
dripping
that.
from your feet.
This is how
You know?
we think. And I can't speak for Kay, but I'm pretty sure this is how he thinks. Man, I learned something.
Yeah.
Here,
There you-
everyone needs to learn
I'm
this.
blasting. I want to tell everybody.
Like I want everybody to feel what I feel.
Yeah.
And we don't even think like,
But we wouldn't call
I'm
that
the
a
best.
mentor. That wouldn't be a mentor.
No,
That's
even
knowledge sharing.
No, even
which-
I'm saying like, yes, that's in general. I'm saying,
Yeah.
but narrow to mentorship, anyone who I meet, I'm like, man, I sometimes it comes off as unsolicited though, right?
Yeah.
So that's the issue we may have.
But you said it right to where not everybody wants to carry that burden
Right.
of, you know, like, hey, this person is going to be calling me.
But it's a mindset shift.
I think
no
you don't
example of this
understand.
one.
So
All right.
if you're
It has to be a mindset
Actually,
shift.
you know what?
If
you know what? Let me let
him talk.
Let me give an example of, you know, a few people that I mentor.
Okay.
Right.
just a few.
Lord. I'm not so a lot of people would know out there that I'm not the best at checking up on people.
No, you're not.
All right.
We can confirm
I
that.
apologize. You know, just keep praying for me. All right. But also, I'm not the best at receiving like, hey, people are calling me to try and do this. And, you know, hey, my mentee is calling me. I got to pick up. I feel the weight.
Yeah.
You feel the weight
That's what
feel
when your
the
mentee
weight.
calls you?
Yes.
Because
I don't feel nothing. I'm like, I
yeah.
bet I got
He's
you.
an introvert,
Let's talk about it.
bro. So it's
So-
like another interaction for
Correct.
him to have and make sure he's.
That actually gives me life.
Especially
That's why you're extrovert.
And there you
Like,
go,
that's what I'm
right?
trying to tell you.
So
It's
there's some
draining to
people
him.
out
It's
there that feel
energizing
like,
to you.
hey, if I've got to mentor this person, and when they call me, I only have like this much capacity for my day, and when they call me, I only have this much left, but I still got this much work to do.
Right.
Is that a selfish thing to think?
No, it's literally like what differentiates him and you is that social interactions, your mind, your way. If they did a brain scan, it's chill.
interaction.
It's chill. It's actually
His
happy.
battery is
Yeah.
dying while mine's been charged.
Right. Like his is like,
It's depleting.
you know what I mean? So for people, which is what I was asking, like people who are naturally just, no matter the character or their intention behind it, it just comes natural for them to do that versus people who have to work. It's
Okay.
like moving a mountain for them to, they only could move this mountain 1 foot a day versus you, that mountain is just a pillow. And so you're just walking and you're not even like moving, you know, it's not anything. How do they then form these relationships that come so easy to you? So that's why I say it becomes harder for them to be a mentor than it would be for you because it's easy for you.
One thing about mentors that I want to add in there is that you don't approach someone to be their mentor.
No.
I don't? No, I'm just
No.
kidding.
Or at least you shouldn't.
Hey, do you need a mentor?
Yeah.
Drop a comment
not
below.
trying to, yeah.
I've never gone to anybody and said,
you know.
hey, let me be your mentor.
Nah, that's a
never.
little bit,
right. It's
that's
usually someone that approaches
Yeah,
you.
because that person has seen the value.
value.
But I don't even think that, well, in my head, let me tell you guys how I look at it. Nobody should be coming up to me to be asking me to be a mentor.
That's more
for you to be their mentor?
Yes. However,
Why is that?
differently?
yeah, they need to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't know what about.
Yeah. Because if you ask me, hey, I want to be a mentor, or can you be my mentor? To me, I'm like, well, what does that
That's
mean?
so formal.
Yeah, that's it's transactional now.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this a college application?
Right. Then I'm not really your mentor. I'm just an advisor.
Right.
That's okay.
So, to touch on that, I once gave a story about when I first became a COO. I didn't know what that looks like, right? And I called somebody who I didn't know. I just reached out blindly, hoping that she would take my call, right? And essentially, the way I approached the conversation was quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Meaning that, I do something for you, you do something for me, right? But at the same time, I'm trying to foster a relationship as well, right?
Yeah.
So I say that to say that we didn't start off having a relationship, but I explained my intentions that I want to build a relationship with you. And while I'm building this relationship with you, I'm hoping to gain X, Y, Z from you. And I'm also hoping to add some sort of value to your life. What would that look like? These are what I'm good at.
I love that because that sounds like, hey,
Genuine.
it's
Because I don't want you to think like it's right. Because I don't want you to think it's transactional.
Yeah.
Because the transactional aspect, right, is
no, but it is transactional.
I'm doing something for you, you're doing for me. But I also
Yeah.
said that I want to build a relationship
until it gets there.
Right.
It's still which is still okay.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right. It's still okay.
I think,
but we shouldn't. I think we need to make sure we compartmentalize when we say a mentor.
Right. Mean a relationship.
There needs to be that relationship that there's no, hey, if I do this, you get this and all that stuff. But what I'm trying to say is for some of us, right, it's going to be hard to just jump to that depth.
Because it takes effort to be a mentor.
It's going to take some time to jump to that depth. So, hey, maybe you can just start by first sharing some knowledge.
And honestly,
then next up, maybe some people want to be advisors, and then you start building those relationships.
Right.
And before you know it, you have an unspoken mentorship.
Right.
I think that also being a mentor, in a way, makes you be better at whatever it is you're mentoring.
Yeah.
Because, for me, when I studied, I knew I was going to get an A if I could teach it to my peers.
Yeah.
And then I knew I knew I was going to get a close to an A if I could teach it to my peers. But I knew I really was going to get an A if I could teach it to somebody who had no knowledge of the subject.
The best way to learn is to teach, right?
Well, teach specifically to someone who has no knowledge of the subject so they can't fill in the blanks like, But
they'll even challenge you by asking certain questions that's going to force you to really think about it.
So like with a mentor, when you have someone who asks a question, you're like, I never thought about that. Like, I don't know why that is. I should figure that out. Or you start kind of perfecting and honing your craft because you're having someone who's watching you and learning. You want them to learn good habits and not the bad habits.
Right.
So if you were late all the time, you kind of, someone's supposed to be there in the morning for you, knowing that they're waiting for you, you start coming early and I think it's always good to have someone to look forward to in as far as where you want to be, and always someone who you're looking back at to teach. Exactly. Each one reach one.
So before we round up, we kind of talked about what mentees should be doing to be able to earn themselves a mentor, right?
Yes.
And then we talked about people's mindset, right? Like in terms of how they should be thinking about mentoring folks, right? But I want to make sure that we're being practical here for folks that are watching, because we did say that a lot of people go out seeking knowledge, but many people
don't share
them. So what are, tips or advice that you guys can, give our audience to shift their mindset so that they can start thinking about mentoring folks, at least in the areas that they're really good at?
I think the biggest thing is, one, evaluate what you're good at. You can look around and there's going to be someone who wants to be or is in a situation that you were in.
But before the evaluation, right? Because I think there has to be a decision first before you start evaluating. Because for me, when I look at it, I think from a holistic perspective, right? Like what do I actually want to achieve? Like, what's going to fulfill me? Like, because there's some people, you ever given somebody, a homeless person, $10 and you're the one that's giving money out, but you feel way better inside than
the $10.
Depends
because
on
you
the
feel-
city. Because it slapped out of you. It's not even 20.
because you feel fulfilled, right? So I guess where I'm really trying to go here is like, what should the mindset be first before trying to identify what you're really good at?
I think it's not, if you're only trying to do it for fulfillment, then it's selfish, right?
Okay.
So
Is it?
Yeah. If I'm only trying to mentor you so I can feel good about
No, the fulfillment comes from doing something outside of.
I know, but if I'm
benefit
like,
for you.
But if
"Huh,"
that's what you're chasing, that's what
yeah,
he's
that,
saying.
it
Okay,
has
that's
to
true.
be like, not that what can I do so someone can be better, but what can I offer someone so they can achieve what they want? Not necessarily be better, just because I think this is a better version and that will help them.
Okay,
So-
that's a
but
good
what
mindset.
do they want? If they want to, if I'm good at dentistry and I'm good at other things, but I see him, he wants to be a dentist, and that's all I offer. But that's not necessarily what they want. They want advice on how to run a business.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I should be trying to provide them equal fulfillment of what they want, not just what I think they need.
So asking that question, right, and then identify what you're good at. What about you, Tosin, and then round us up?
I would say for me, it would be, I want people to have this mindset of being in an ecosystem of knowledge sharing.
Okay.
Not everybody, not
Gems.
one person knows everything.
Correct.
Bars.
Right. But if we all come together with our different knowledges and we're sharing that
Man.
knowledge, there's much more we can accomplish.
Billionaires
together.
right here. You got
Yeah.
3 billionaires right here.
Amen. Amen.
I claim it.
Right. Because I really, really am passionate about sharing knowledge. Right. Whatever, like you guys said, once you learn something, you want to blast
Yeah.
it out there.
That's what drove us to starting this podcast.
That's right. Because we want to make sure that people are learning. People are maybe some things that are not taught in school or,
Right.
or things that we've learned from the school of hard knocks.
That's right.
Also.
So that's beyond the grind.
Expensive tuition.
Expensive. Expensive.
Student loans on that.
Tuition. That is the mindset that we
Yes.
should all be taking out there. And also as part of, being in that ecosystem of knowledge share and wanting people to achieve, the goals that they have for themselves, like Alan said, right? It's all about making sure that we all do better.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
all do better.
Kumbaya.
And then you pay it forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
You already hear. What is ordinary to you might be extraordinary for somebody else.
Go get the
Please
book.
Drop in the comment section what you thought about this episode. You can find me online on Instagram at One Horizon. Where can they find you?
I am.adds.
And you can find me at Tosin Amatayo.
Hey, until next time.
Peace.
Thank you.